And now we are moving on to the second Hotshot segment. We're talking about knowing your brand. And to tell us more about this, we would like to welcome Murshidah Said, who is a speaker, motivator, and trainer. Always a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Thank you very much.
You always seem to light up.
Yeah. Suddenly the light just actually moved.
It's my hand movement.
Oh, you have one of those things in your hands there.
Hand of God. Anyway, moving on. We're talking about knowing your brand. So, when we mention the term brand, what does it really mean?
Okay, now when you think of the word brand, I'm going to ask you back, what do you think of?
I know.
All kinds of stuff, you know, the name of something, right? For example, we talk about Krispy Kreme just now.
Yes.
Krispy Kreme is a very strong, powerful brand, right? Now, Krispy Kreme sells what?
Donuts.
Donuts, right? But you can also buy donuts from any other place, right? But why do people actually make, you know, they actually queue up to just buy Krispy Kreme donuts and coffee? You know, it is not so much about the product, but it's more about the feeling attached to a product. When people eat at Krispy Kreme, how do they feel? You know, when they are seen in a Krispy Kreme outlet, for example, how do they feel? So a brand is not about so much a product, it is more about the feeling attached to a product, right? And it's just like, we're going to talk about personal brand. We talk about you, right? So what is your brand, right? Do you know what your brand is? For the last couple of months, I've been talking about knowing yourself, empowering yourself from within, knowing your strengths, right? So when we talk about personal brand, what is it, the feeling that you evoke in other people when it comes to your personal brand? Okay, now, what is your brand? The vision is yours. Before people start to brand you, you brand yourself first, right? Because people tend to brand people everywhere, whether we like it or not. Even we judge others, right? So when you want to brand yourself, first thing you ask yourself, who are you branding yourself for? Right? Who are your target audience? Right? So that's when again we go back to the purpose. Why are we here on earth, and who are we? What are we trying to fulfill here? What is our purpose in our lives? Right? And who are the people that we want to project our purpose for? All right. So which of your personality traits and passions will resonate with your target audience? That means what about you, that about your strengths that you want to project out to the people that you are trying to project out to? All right. And the most important skill the target audience should know about, and what makes you credible. What is the one thing when people look at you, they remember you first thing by, you know? For example, Zamil, you know, when they see Zamil Idris is also a brand, right? So how do I feel when I'm with him, right? When I'm sitting here with him, it is the feeling that I get. That is the brand that is attached to Zamil Idris, right? So when it comes to yourself, right, know who you are, right? What is the image that you want to project, and don't try to be something else or somebody else. Why I am actually I wanted to address this topic was because I saw a quote, right, by Judy Garland, which says, always be a first-rate version of yourself instead of a second-rate version of somebody else. So who you are, project yourself out, right? So how do you project yourself? Okay, it comes out with the image, the outside appearance first, all right? So always dressing for success, or how it is that you want to project yourself. Don't 1 minute you dress something and then totally something different on a regular basis, right? So people do get confused. What do you stand for, all right? Personal hygiene is always important, because whether, you know, you look great, you have a very a beautiful image, or you have a very nice person, when you have body odor and you have bad breath, that spoils everything. Right? So personal hygiene is very important.
You know what?
Yes. Total.
And are you well rested? That's what it's also.
Yes. Do you look well rested? You know, sometimes if you look tired or you are sleepy, people do feel and they actually sense that from you. So again, the impression.
It gives out a different vibe, actually.
Exactly.
But apologies for this World Cup season,
especially for the men.
Especially for the
Mostly
men.
the men.
It's the month the employers are dreading.
All right, and how you wear every day, that also becomes an impression, that becomes a part of your brand. You know, what is it that people remember you by that stands out from other people? All right, and when you attend functions, especially public functions, where a lot of people see you also, that also becomes a part of your personal brand. When speaking, what comes out of your mouth? Now, when you speak 2 to 3 things of the same nature to 2 to 3 different people, that's all you need to have a personal brand defined. For example, if somebody is always complaining, right, about something negative, they speak to 2 different people about the same topic, complaining about the same topic, that becomes your brand. Right? So be careful when you are speaking, whatever comes out of your mouth. All right. What other the other thing that I also mentioned just now was, who are you always associated with? All right. So the people that you hang around with all the time, who you partner with in your life, you know, that becomes a part of your brand as well. Yeah. So people do have impressions. All right. And before people brand you, it is important for you to know yourself first, and you project that out. Don't try to be somebody you are not, because it gets very tiring. Putting on a fake accent every day of your life, it becomes very tiring. Trying to pretend to be somebody else also is very tiring. So be, like Judy Garland's quote said, always be first-rate version of yourself.
Not a second-rate version of other people.
Yeah,
we always try to sing like Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston or Celine Dion, you will always be a second-rate.
Yes.
Even if you try to copy Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga? Okay, well, she sounds easy to copy.
Yeah, I mean, usually the people, when other people brand you, it's always in a negative direction, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. That is one thing I learned also, not to judge people, because I've learned not to brand people, because that is how our culture is. You know, we are naturally branding people all the time or judging people all the time. But there were times when I have been branded myself negatively or judged for something that was totally different from my intentions. And that is when I start to realize, look, I have also done that to other people. So we change ourselves first, right? So that makes me not want to judge people immediately as well. But then, you know, when you make, for example, if you're going for a job interview or something like that, sometimes you need to have that first impression of first 5 minutes. You know, people don't have like 1 hour or a few days to get to know you.
That's right.
That first impression, what are you, you know, bringing up to the other person that you are meeting, for example.
But here's an interesting question. You were branded negatively before, so how did you come out of it and, you know, project the brand that you wanted?
All right. Consistency, repetition, right, to show about something that was that what you stand for. All right. But of course, sometimes you cannot change people. They have their perceptions, whatever. But you can always change yourself. All right. So okay, I'm thinking of another person now, Angelina Jolie. Right. Angelina Jolie was a very, very good brand. Right. If you look at her before she adopted her child Maddox, right. The pre-Maddox brand, Angelina Jolie, and the post-Maddox brand.
It's such a big difference.
Before that, it was very notorious, very rebellious.
Very different. They call her wild child of Hollywood, right?
Probably still is.
When she did Tomb Raider, right? When she did Tomb Raider and she actually wanted to change her life, she decided, she knew what her purpose was in life. It's not just about herself, it is about contribution. So that was a big realization. And a lot of people all through their lives, they don't realize, they don't have that opportunity to realize their purpose. So she found that early in her life, and when she adopted Maddox, right, in her after the movie, she herself, she wanted to improve herself, right, based on her brand, because she's a very public person, right? And a lot of people at that time were also against her. They were worried for the child. Said like, what are you, you're bringing up a child. Are you sure she's going to be a good parent and all that? But she was consistent, and she projected herself very well. And now, if she wants to adopt anybody, people go, here, adopt my child.
Adopt me.
Yeah, exactly. You know, because they have full trust in her, because she has not gone back to any of her old brand as well.
Roots, basically.
Yeah, and even if you look at the circle of people that she hangs around with, she goes to UN conferences, she gives a lot of talks, the words that she speaks out of her mouth about her children. And she carries her brand very well, you know. So that is how, you know, if let's say you were judged negatively before, there is a way to reverse that. Sometimes it will take time, and sometimes the most painful thing is like sometimes your very close friends, people who say, oh, I know this person, you know, from young, oh, that person will never change, right? Sometimes they are the ones who cause you, you know, not to change your brand, right? But sometimes if you want to project a brand of yourself that you want to bring out to the world, be consistent in that, no matter what. Right?
There you go. Well, thank you very much, Murshidah, for joining us once again and sharing a bit about our individual brands.
Knowing your brand as well as how to brand yourself, especially, it is really beneficial when it comes to advancing your career.
That's right. So far, I think the Hello on Tour, I got a big football just around my head.
For me, it's just travel and food. So, yeah, that's my brand.
Well, we got to take a quick look at the polling results. This is probably beneficial for those of you attending the WTWIC PAC conference. Do you agree the adoption of nuclear energy is a way to cheaper energy costs? Well,
Well,
75% of you say yes.
yes, yeah,
And
apparently.
25% of you say no. 25% say no. With that, we thank you for participating and congratulations to all of you who won.
That's right.
Don't forget to
Be sure
watch
to
the
stay
finals and, of course, the semi-final matches live on RTM.
That's right. Be sure to stay tuned for Hello on to you, Murshidah on Hot. Here with us, Zaman and Terence. Coming to you next. Well, we'll see you soon. Stay tuned for tomorrow, same time, same place.
Here we come, Kuantan. 20,000 for the slowest Marabit.
Take care, everyone. See ya.